Hey folks, welcome to Set Apart Homestead. This is Travis. Little drizzly and a little windy, so I hope the audio works out all right on this. Before I get started on the video, I want to encourage you to go over and check out another channel. Bug Out Bubba is the name of the channel. The guy really puts out some good stuff. He's got a video that he just put out called The War on I'm going to mess it up. I knew I would. The War on Autonomy. You need to watch that video. It is like a mini documentary. He really put, obviously, a lot of work into it on just the degradation of our society, the New World Order, taking away of our rights, the end times, everything. He covers a lot, and it's really, really good. If you only have time today to watch one video online, turn this one off and get over there and watch his, because it's a really good video. And I encourage you to check it out. It's War on Autonomy, and his channel is Bug Out Bubba. All right, so let's talk about greyman versus ultra tactical. And what I mean by both of those terms are greyman meaning blending in, kind of incognito in a way. You don't draw attention to yourself. You don't look like you're going around looking for a fight. You just kind of, no one really notices you. It can be by the way you dress, by the way you carry yourself, how you live, all these things. To me, ultra tactical can kind of be defined as someone that, they look like they just jumped out of a page of, some kind of, survival magazine or, Soldier of Fortune. That's the word I was trying to come up with. I kept wanting to say Rambo. They look like a Rambo from Soldier of Fortune. There we go. I'll get it out right in a second. Or they're just, the way they carry themselves, you're like, that guy's got some training. He knows his stuff. She knows her stuff. Maybe it's the bumper stickers. Maybe it is the way that you dress, or he's wearing tactical looking camo clothing and that sort of thing. But you're drawing attention. In the end, you're drawing attention to yourself. While both have their place, I believe that in most cases, nowadays, you're going to probably be better off with going the greyman route. And that can be very different for different people in different areas. For instance, because I live out here in hillbilly country with a bunch of, in the sticks and rednecks and farmers and stuff like that, I can get away with driving around in an old jacked up four-wheel drive truck and, wearing boots and, Carhartts and a big old beard like this. And I do kind of blend in because a lot of people dress like that around here. Carrying a gun, having a gun in your truck, that sort of, having an NRA bumper sticker on your vehicle. You would actually blend in here. Now, if I went to LA or New York City or Chicago or someplace like that, obviously I'm going to stick out like a sore thumb. So I would have to change my appearance if I wanted to be a greyman. So that's a big part of it, but it's not always just the way you dress. And that is part of it because, of course, people notice your clothing. You don't want to go around wearing something flashy, something really colorful, the newest popular latest styles, or you don't want to dress in, ultra militaristic looking clothing because that also draws attention. It's drawing attention to you, and any kind of attention you're drawing to yourself negates being a, greyman. And it doesn't matter if you're wearing a clown suit or if you're dressed like G.I. Joe. So with being a greyman, it's not just the way you dress, but it's how you carry yourself also. You want to blend in. Be a people watcher. If you don't do this, if you don't notice people, if you don't, look at people, then you need to do that. Next time you go to the store, to the mall, or to the park, or anything like that, spend a little time just watching people. I'm getting drizzly on my camera here. Give me just a second. All right. I need a little... I think the professionals have like a little shield or something over. My camera's supposed to be waterproof, so I don't really care about that. But you want to blend in, and it's not just the way that you dress, but it's also how you act, how you carry yourself. Now, you don't want to necessarily walk around like you're depressed and defeated, like that. But you also don't want to walk around like this. This is not gray man. This is, I'm the badass in town and don't mess with me. So you got to find that kind of somewhere in between. For me, and I'm already a big guy, so if I'm trying to not draw attention to myself, I might walk around with my head tilted down a little bit. Not defeated, not all like this, but I just have my head tilted down, but enough that I can still see, okay? That's something that I do. It's learning how to kind of carry yourself, blend in. And that is something that you should probably already be doing in most scenarios, especially if you're in an area that you're unfamiliar with. Maybe you're going out of town on a vacation. You don't want to look like a tourist or someone that doesn't belong there. You want to blend in. So you're not looking at the sights and the cool building there that you've never seen. You don't care because, it's nothing special to you. So you just you're walking around, like nothing's, affecting you and bothering you. That's a way to blend in. While you're doing that, you also need to, in your mind, be doing the opposite. You need to have very alert situational awareness. So as you're kind of acting like you're looking down and not looking at anything, in reality, you're noticing everything. You're looking for people that look out of character, acting strange, maybe have a paranoid, act, that they're looking around and acting kind of paranoid. Anyone that's doing anything unusual, out of character, that would be considered a norm, might be someone that you want to keep your eyes on. If you're in a store, restaurant, building, anything, when you walk in, make mental notes of your entrances and exits that you can see. Before you enter, make notes of any barriers, barricades, ways to leave the parking lot, anything that might seem out of place. When you're in the building, you're looking at people, you're looking at exits. Also, as you're walking around, as you're doing grocery shopping, where are places that would offer cover and or concealment? And those are two different things. In the back of your mind also, as you're walking around, if I needed to use something as a weapon, is there what around here? If I'm in the grocery store and I'm on the bread aisle, probably a loaf of bread may not work. But hey, if there's a bottle of wine over here, or a stack of cans of green beans, that might be something I can throw at someone to distract them so that I can get to cover or concealment. That's part of that situational awareness. To me, situational awareness and gray man have to go together, because if you're just blending in and you're not paying trying to look like you're not paying attention to anything because you're not, then you're just as vulnerable. You need to have a very heightened situational awareness if you're a gray man. You want to look like you don't care. You want to look like that you're not plugged into what's going on around you. So that helps you blend in. But the reality is that you're keenly alert to what's going on around you. I would think for most people in most situations, gray man is going to be the way to go. Same way with your vehicle. If your vehicle looks like it, came out of some kind of Mad Max movie with, a million bumper stickers on it, you're going to draw attention to yourself. I'm not saying don't have it. You just need to realize that you're drawing attention to yourself. And people are probably figuring out, well, there's a right-wing, gun-toting, type of guy, probably some prepper and all that kind of stuff. These are tactics that you should be using in your daily life. It doesn't mean that when you go to the grocery store, the only thing you're thinking of is what if something bad happens, someone attacks me, or there's a, live shooting situation. It's just something to train yourself. When you go to a restaurant, try not to sit with your back to the door. It's an old cop thing. But be aware of your surroundings. You have to do that if you're really focusing on the gray man. And that is probably a good idea for a lot of people, especially those that may not have the training to actually take care of themselves, handle themselves. If you're some Army Ranger, Delta Force, Navy SEAL, whatever, you can probably handle yourself. And while you may not go around looking to invite a fight, if it was brought to you, you probably would be all right. But if you're, 70 years old and just had a hip replacement and had heart surgery 3 years ago, you probably don't want a fight. So you want to try to blend in so that you're not drawing attention to yourself. Not just with flashy things, but jewelry, anything that makes you look like you have money. Sorry, I'm getting drizzle on the phone again. Probably should have done this differently. It doesn't feel that bad. It's just enough to kind of get on the camera. Don't have anything shown that makes you look like you have money. That's going to draw attention. Gold jewelry, diamond rings, fancy, flashy, this and that. That's part of the gray man. Same way with your house. If you live where your neighbors can see you, don't be openly, broadcasting that you just bought a pallet load of rice and beans and that you're bringing it in, or that you cleaning your 15 AR-15s in your front yard and you have them all stacked up so that the neighborhood can watch. That's probably not a good idea. The less other people know about you, the better. The less that they are aware of you or that they have, noticed you, the better. Statistically, those type of people get involved in, less crimes because they're not being made aware of. The types of criminals that do just random crimes. They're not seeking out a particular person. They're just whoever the easiest victim is. The people that kind of blend in and they don't notice, they kind of don't even pay attention to them. It kind of goes back to the thing. I don't know if this is true anymore, but or if people are still telling this. I remember when I started driving, I was told, "Oh, don't get a red car. You get a red car, you have increased odds, better chance of getting pulled over and getting a ticket." Well, maybe more sports cars were made red than others, but the main thing is because red sticks out. If you're driving down the highway in a brown car and it's 2 miles away, there's a cop sitting on the side of the road. He doesn't really pay much attention to you, but here you come up in a red car, they notice that. It's the same concept. Don't bring attention to yourself. So now the other side is the ultra tactical. That's just what I would call it. Someone that brings attention to yourself, especially in a tactical, militaristic, toughness, type of way. There may be places and times for that. If you had to go into maybe a rough place where there were people that were tough, rough people that were already looking at you and they were already checking you out, you might want to present yourself as the tough guy. You just better be able to back it up. But that may be possible to help, keep trouble down by doing that. Honestly, though, the ultra tactical look for me is something that isn't going to really be used unless, well, SHTF happens, and doesn't mean that I'm necessarily going to go in and put on my camouflage outfit and that's what I'm going to wear after that. But if I have to go out in defense of my home and property or community or whatever, then I may put that stuff on, and not necessarily for the look, but just because of the benefit that those types of clothing would have. But the reality is in my opinion, and I may be wrong, and there may be many that have a different opinion, and I encourage you to, state your opinion on this. In my opinion, for most people in general, in their everyday life, being a gray man, blending in, not drawing attention to yourself, is probably the safest way to go. And I'm not just talking about, SHTF. I'm talking about just everyday life, especially if you live in areas that are more prone to crime. Out here where I live, you can go to the gas station and leave your car running and go in and get stuff and come back out and no one's bothering it. You can leave your house unlocked most of the time if you wanted to. So there's less crime. So maybe it doesn't matter as much. But in the same sense, I'm not trying to draw attention that, I'm a prepper out here. that sort of thing. You know, I'm not making that a public announcement. But especially in urban areas and populated areas, the blending in thing is becoming more and more, I think, necessary. And there's you know, you go to New York City, they're famous for that. They're famous for, you know, that you can go to New York City and just disappear and blend in, and no one will ever know you exist. Partly, yes, because there's so many people, but because the people there, they don't notice that kind of stuff. And it's the same way in other, you know, more urbanized, larger populated areas. There's so many people that the ones that, you know, it's kind of how your brain works. Your brain's only going to notice the ones that there's something about them that stands out. You know, it's a crowd of people, and this person over here is wearing banana yellow, you know, shorts and shirt or something. Well, that stands out. You know, you stand there and there's a woman over here with her hair stuck up to here, or, you know, a guy with a blue mohawk. That sort of thing. Your eyes, your brain picks up, because it's your brain's not capable of noticing all 500 people there, you know, walking across the street. So it picks out the ones that there's something unique about it. Don't make yourself look unique is the key. And I think for your personal safety now and later on in any event, kind of keeping yourself, you know, incognito, kind of a gray man, is going to be more beneficial to you. All right, I am starting to get a little wet out here. It's not bad, but it is supposed to start raining more again. Someday we'll dry out. I'm pretty sure earlier I watched some of my chickens surfing out in the front yard, but I don't know, maybe it wasn't true. Go check out Bug Out Bubba. Again, The War on Autonomy. Amazing video. Check it out. All right. Thank you all for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video.